Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am frankly FM81 and today I've got another video as part of the Roten Bullen, the series where we are currently out in Germany managing Red Bull Leipzig. So in the last episode we had a dramatic final day of the season which saw us win another Bundesliga title. In today's episode we are going to go through the end of season review for the 22-23 season and show off exactly how we ranked in terms of the signings and the competitions and the broad expectations. I will then also preview next season with a few transfer sprinklings just to show you what is to come. We already know of one big transfer when Lionel Messi will come in on a free transfer for one season only, and there are a few other interesting names that will join the club too. But before we get into this, please don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button to help the channel out. If you've done that already though, let's jump on in and show you what the game has made of the 22-23 season. So we will start off as always on the new arrivals page, and you can see that we had quite a few new arrivals in the previous season. So Ali Akman is up there. Paid £22.5 million for him. He has been such a revelation. If we actually click on Akman. So the board were delighted with the deal. We got an A- for this deal for the £22.5 million. He scored 31 goals and had 4 assists across 39 games with 5 extra as a substitute. We signed Ozan Kabak from Schalke for 21 million. He played and featured in 29 games with 3 more as a sub. Scored 5, assisted 1. We had Xavi Simons, who we actually only paid £54,000 for. It shows up there he played 29 games, but we actually loaned him out to... Where did he go? So he went to Duisburg and he played 29 games. Got a 7.07 rating, so might be one to bring back into the fold in the new season. We've got Luca Netz, paid 15 million for him. A+, they are delighted with that deal, and so was I. Absolute snip. 34 games played, 1 goal, 7 assists. What a goal that 1 goal was as well. We've got Damien Goddard, an A-. He is an 18-year-old enthusiastic centre-back who could go on to be a wonder kid. Paid 3.7 million to prize him away from Monaco. I think he has a big future. Signing of the season, I think that is there. Signing of the season is Savio. He's a 19-year-old wonder kid. Plays mainly as a right winger. Playing 28 games, 8 from the bench, scoring 7 goals with 8 assists. We signed Alassane Plie. Board weren't really happy with it. They were content with the deal. Only a £10 million signing. It was one really just to plug a gap on the left wing when Pino or Forsberg weren't playing. So he only made 3 starts, 7 substitute appearances, but did score 2 goals and had 3 assists. We signed Sandri. That's a B-. The board say we are pleased to see that the minimum fee release clause of 74 million would mean an excellent deal for the club should it be triggered. So he is a 20-year-old wonder kid, played 18 times, cost 15.5 million, had 1 goal, 4 assists. We then had Esposito, got a C for that deal. Actually signed him from Manchester City, and I think he played against us. Did he play again? I think he played against us early on in the season, which prompted me to go and have a look. And I thought, yeah, we'll take him. We'll take a chance for 7.5 million. That's snip. We've got Pablo Ruan, who we signed for Leipzig 2. He came from Red Bull Bragantino. Board aren't too fussed about that one. We signed Nathan Aki in a £32 million deal. Board aren't happy with that. Aki did only play 7 games, 3 as a substitute. Didn't do too great. We signed Eskil Dahl. Got a D for that one. Paid 7.5 million. And again, like Plie, he was one of those players who was brought in really to just plug a gap in the left-hand side. And then we bought Kaj Kumpelainen. We paid £20 million. He came really highly rated by our scouts, so not too sure what's going on there. What did that actually say? Oops. What did it actually say about him? Board are disappointed due to the feeling the transfer doesn't represent a good deal for the club. So maybe we overspent a little bit, £20 million, bought him from Schalke. The board at the time and the scouts didn't think that was the case, but okay. In terms of players that we let go, so Dani Olmo went to PSG for 120 million. Haidara ended up going to Shanghai for 9.5. Max Norman Williamson went to PSG for 15 million. Christopher Nkunku went to PSG for 23 million. He went back to the club that Leipzig actually signed him from. Lucas Klosterman ended up going to Borussia Dortmund for 38.5 million. Kevin Campbell went to Lokomotiv Moscow for 2 million. Bela Kotchap went to Utrecht for 2.8 million. Sorloth went to Everton for 24 million. Rudiger went to Beijing for 18 million. And then a few other younger players. Lutz was one that ended up going to Hertha Berlin. We paid 2.2, only recouped 1.3 of it. He was never really going to break into our team. He was one of those players that we were helping Dietrich Mateschitz with, trying to boost the Austrian national team. I don't think he will ever get there. Despite that, he's got 8 under 21 caps, so maybe there was a potential for him to grow, and we missed a trick there. Moving on to a season to remember. So in the Bundesliga, we won the title with a grand total of 90 points. We had 29 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses. Brenner was our top goal scorer with 30 goals. And the board are obviously delighted to have won that competition. In terms of the Champions League, they wanted us to reach the first knockout round at minimum. We were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Inter. The board were happy, give us a B-. They were delighted the team reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Ali Akman was top goal scorer there with 9. The DFB Pokal, we were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Bayer Leverkusen, embarrassingly 7-1. They were disappointed with that, obviously. And then in the Super Cup, I think we won that on the opening weekend of the season, beating Borussia Dortmund 4-1. When we go to moments to remember, you can see our biggest win was an 8-0 win against Lupo Martini in the DFB Pokal. Goals from Savio, Olmo, Brenner, Ackman, Magno, and they even threw in one from Lopez as an own goal. The match to remember was a 5-1 win in the Bundesliga against Wolfsburg, and goal of the season went to Luca Netz, which was strange because that's the only goal he scored, and he ended up winning goal of the season. When we look at the finances of the club, we are now a worldwide, even though we're still a 4.5-star club, we've gone from continental to worldwide. The club's reputation has increased from continental to worldwide, help us to affect a higher calibre of players at the club, help our support base grow and greatly improve commercial revenue. You can see in terms of annual revenue, our sponsorship is up, our broadcast revenue is down, corporate and hospitality is up, competition prize money is down by just a little bit, and match day commercial and retail is also down a bit. We've got total merchandise sales of 8.46 million, and we sold 414,622 shirts, with Ali Akman being the most popular, Brenner, Forsberg, Sandri and Sobolai being the most popular shirts there. In terms of how we lined up, that is pretty accurate. Just Dani Olmo being the one who will move, or didn't play the entire season. In terms of history, the accolades, comes first. So I can't read German, but 21-22 Trainer des Jahres. Presume that means manager of the season, but that's last season, I think. So not too sure what's going on there. But in terms of the club awards for the players, Brenner was fans player of the season. Young player of the season also was Brenner. Signing of the season was Savio. Luca Netz won goal of the season. Brenner was top goal scorer with 40 goals this season. Emil Forsberg had most assists with 21. Brenner had most player of the matches with 11. He also had the highest average rating, 7.5. And Sandry completed the most passes per 90 minutes. When we go to the record breakers, so Brenner broke the record with most goals by a player in the season for 40. He also broke most league goals with 30. Pino, most goals by a player in a match. He scored 4. Most goals by a player in a league match. He also scored 4 in that. Emil Forsberg had 21 assists. Brenner, most player of the matches in a single season with 11. Gvardiol was the naughty boy with the worst discipline, but no red cards there. Most league appearances by a player was broken by Peter Galaxy. Unfortunately, he has now played his last game for the club. Lutz became the youngest player at exactly 17 years old before his transfer. We also received the highest transfer fee paid by Paris Saint-Germain, with 120 million for Dani Olmo, and the youngest ever goal scorer was Savio at 18 years and 111 days. Moving on to history in the making, so Leipzig put together a season for the ages. Well done them. What an incredible season Leipzig put together. That's highly original. That's pretty much the same thing. So we are going to quickly finish with that. Let's have a little look at the club vision and expectations. So we are going to accept that as it is. So we need to play high tempo pressing football, attacking football, sign players under the age of 21 for the first team, high reputation players, entertaining football, work within the wage budget, maintain the best youth system in the country, increase commercial revenue, and then they want qualify for the Champions League, which is strange. We've won the league 3 times in a row, so would have thought they would shoot higher than that. They want the first round knockout as a minimum for the Champions League, and then become the most reputable team in Germany, work towards winning a Bundesliga, and finally by 25-26 they want to win the Bundesliga, which is a bit strange considering we've now done that 3 times in a row. In terms of our squad dynamics, so the players here, you can see we've got quite a lot of lower influence players. We've got Gvardiol, Angelino, Canate, Brenner and Ali Akman as highly influential. And unfortunately, Galaxy is leaving and we will just have Forsberg for that slot. So looking at the transfers, if we look at players in, so the deals that we have completed, so 9.5 million joining on the 1st of July. Coming in as a replacement for Peter Galaxy will be Andre Lunin. He is Real Madrid's goalkeeper at the moment. He has been loaned out several times and seemingly played quite well. He's a player that I think can step in and fill that gap quite nicely. He'll be a first choice goalkeeper for plenty of years at the age of 24. We've got Sebastian Klein, who these 3 transfers here are ones that were playing in the youth teams, and then the club released them and then changed their mind and said, oh, actually we should have signed them. So those are players there. We are signing Christopher Nierchenhofer, who is a defensive midfielder, centre or centre-back. Plays for Frankfurt under-19s. He is obviously a regen. He comes highly recommended by our scouts who told us that £4.1 million is an absolute snip and we should be paying that. So we stepped in and paid that. Here is the signing that I am intrigued to see what will happen. We are going to be having Lionel Messi at the club for 1 season only. There he is, Mr. 489 goals in 589 appearances for Barcelona. Interesting to see him dropping back as in real life. Not just an out-and-out striker, so he could play in the hole for us. He could play on the right wing. I'm going to look and see how we can slot him in. But exciting times that Messi will grace the field of the Red Bull Arena. We have Sihan Topal. He's another one who is coming highly recommended from our scouts. A Turkish promising striker. Seems that whatever the scouts have discovered, he scored 15 goals, in 19 non-competitive games. Not so good when it comes to European Under-19 Championship qualifying, but as a 17-year-old, he has plenty of time to grow. We have a couple of more free transfers that are youngsters, and then we have Daniel Reich, who is coming in as a coach. So that is it in terms of future prospects, in terms of the transfers going forwards. Like I said, I don't think we have too many other players going out. So we've got Srirachi is going to Leeds for nothing at the end of his contract. Konate is leaving for nothing. And Linus Jakob Zimmer is also going to Arminia Bielefeld. And they are all free transfers. And Galaxy is the one who is not having his contract renewed. So that rounds off a fantastic 22-23 season. We've shown you the trophies, the signings, the records, and the future of the club. So all that is left to do is come back and join me in the next episode, where we will jump forwards to the start of the new season, show you what Lionel Messi looks like in our lineup. If you're excited for that, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button if you've made it this far into the video. It's just a couple of clicks. But for this one, that's a wrap. I'll see you in the 23-24 season.